Hi, welcome again to the Celebrity Catwalk podcast, Cat Calls, How the Fur Flies. So, today we're going to speak with Jaimie McFarland, and Jaimie is our den mother. This is a very, very interesting job, Jaimie, and I want you to tell everybody.
Interesting is one way to describe it.
Please share it with us, your experience doing. Now, how long have you been doing it?
Oh, that's a good question. I think two
That's what I'm here
years.
for. What?
I think 2 years,
I think
maybe
so.
2.5, but I think two. I think maybe five, four shows or five. This is either the fourth show or the fifth,
I was here with
something
your
like that.
first show.
Yeah, you were here on my show.
She sat next to me. I was helping her learn.
Yes, yes. As den mother, I think four shows, 4 or
Okay,
5
so
shows.
you're
Yeah.
really very experienced by now.
Yes, crash course. Yes, but yes, definitely.
And
By now, I'm experienced in all things catwalk.
all things catwalk, not only the protocol,
Behind the scenes, behind the scenes.
the phone calls, the texts, the questions.
Yes, phone calls, text, emails, you name it, it comes my way.
So you maneuver, you run the gamut between all those things. And what do you think? You really helped Jennifer a lot, and I have to say that Jaimie has really elevated the level of, should I say, elegance, of style, of celebrity catwalk, and we're really glad that she's there. Now,
Thank
after
you.
that
Thank
being
you.
said, I want to know what's the number one question all these ladies ask you. I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact number one, but what is a very popular
Well, the,
question?
the, the first the first question, as far as like the catwalk itself, like the actual
Mm-hmm.
celebrity catwalk, excluding the new add-on competition that we're having
Mm-hmm.
starting tomorrow, but usually it's about, you ladies all know, how many designs is everyone getting? Did you get a Danielle? Did so and so get a Danielle? So it's always like which designers sent their stuff in. Because everybody loves to get a lot of stuff. That's the bottom line. We all love to go home with a lot of dresses, and we love to have a lot of stuff in our wardrobe. So that's what I would say is like the number one catwalk thing, is about the number of designs and which designers.
Which
And
designer?
yeah,
Because it's like a hierarchy of designers. There's some
absolutely.
that are really the top of the line. We're not going to go through it now, but we'll find out tomorrow after the presentation, maybe. Um, but it's a hierarchy and different levels of designers and who gets what, and people sometimes designs don't come in. They come in ill fitting. So what happens then?
Oh, that does happen. And
Not often, but
not often, but it happens. I find that it happens a lot more with some of the really small dogs. So a lot of
interesting.
the dogs that are, more of your average size, I don't hear too many of those ladies with too many complaints. It's usually the bigger dogs complain because they don't get enough designs. Though
Now,
Jennifer's
what about
really
boys? Boys.
yeah, working hard. Jennifer's working hard to make sure our big dogs that come into the show get enough designs. And then the little dogs, the tiny dogs, because honestly, the tiny dogs really need custom stuff. And not every, a lot of the designers make a bunch of stuff and they send it to Jennifer, and then Jennifer sends it out to the people that she thinks it matches with the best or fit the
Mm-hmm.
best. But I mean, they're not, these things aren't being custom made for a specific dog. In some cases, they are. In some cases, the designers get a list and they will look at the list and they will say to Jennifer, I'm going to make, and they check off the dogs they want to make for, and they know the dog sizes, and they can make more of a custom fit. But some of the things Jennifer is getting from the designers, and they're sending just boxes of stuff and she's sending it out, so they may get stuff that doesn't fit perfect, and I know that's upsetting, and a little frustrating for them. But
It
we all are
happens.
doing our best. It happens. I usually, my rule of thumb is, if I get something that doesn't fit, I just put an extender in it,
Right.
and I ask. There's so many ladies that make extenders. I mean, Denise Lucas just made me one for this show. Danielle has made me some in the past. Usually, if you ask one of the designers you work with, and ask them for an extender, they usually will have no problem making you one. And you just wear it on the runway and you just support the designer, and you make the best of it.
Now, I've heard in the past, now, Paige, stop. I've heard in the past that some girls solicit designers. Do you think they do
Absolutely.
that? I mean, did they? I
Oh,
it used to be.
I don't think they do that.
You
I
know,
know they do that. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So so it's unfair in a way, but it does happen. I mean,
It happens. I don't know that. Well, the way that I'm just going to play devil's advocate. The way that they would describe it is they like to put out, once they, they send their money in and they register, they like to call their friends and tell their friends, oh, I just registered for Catwalk and I'm going to be in the show. So they're kind of like giving the designer a nod to let them know, make me something. We
right.
all know what's going on. It doesn't mean that the designer is going to do it. Sometimes it puts the designer on like a hot seat, so now they feel like, oh, so and so told me that they're in the show, and now they. Um, so I don't. We don't. I would say it's you can't say not to do it, because if someone's your friend
Of
and you
course.
want to
No,
you
no.
want to call them, you can't. No one can say not to do it. I think though, when you're texting and calling all your favorite designers and putting a little pressure, letting them know you're in the show, I think they know where you're going with it. And in that regard, I think it's kind of not nice, only because some of the designers can't make 20 or 30
No,
outfits for
they're
the
not.
show.
They don't have the
They don't have
time.
the budget.
Right.
This is all donations.
Yes.
They're paying for the fabrics, the embellishments, the crystals, all of the stuff out of their own pocket. So they can't always make 30 dresses. And even though they want to make for all of us, because we all, they want to do, make us all happy, they just can't, because they don't have the time or they don't have the budget. So, like a perfect example, Jackie Frame, she picks every show a different dog. She doesn't redo the same dog. So
Nice.
if you get,
That's very fair.
I
I
got
like
from
that.
her last show, I didn't get from her this show, and
I'm
that's
waiting.
perfectly. You'll come around,
I'm
come around.
waiting.
She's got a list. She's very good about this, Jackie. If you're out there, they should take tips from you. And she says, no, I'm going to make these dogs, and the next show I'm going to make these dogs. So she tries to circle around and get to all the dogs. And I know a lot of the other
I
ladies,
think Diana Lucci does that also.
Diana Lucci, I think a lot of the
Yeah, no,
ladies
most of
do
them
their
do.
best.
Most of them
Yeah,
do.
they do their
And
best.
what's up with designers giving 2, 3 outfits in one scene to the same person? Anything about that said behind the scenes? Do you hear anything about that? I think it's
I don't.
ridiculous. I think it's unfair.
I think some of that has to do with there are certain designers specifically who they make small dog stuff better. So a couple of the small dogs, and they get more from one designer, because I think Jennifer gives them more for that scene, because they're not going to get in some of the other scenes.
Okay, that makes
So she
sense.
tries to balance it out, and she tries to, like, for example, I got two dresses for Bianca from Mary A.
Yeah, I got them
And
too.
but then there are other scenes where I don't get for Bianca, because that designer doesn't really do a lot of small stuff. So I think Jennifer tries to balance it out. I know Chris Bryson, a lot of people get duplicates of Chris Bryson,
Yes,
and that's just because Chris Bryson is amazing. She will send Jennifer 50 dresses,
amazing.
and Jennifer will be able to give everyone in the show two
Let me
dresses,
get any of this.
or different amounts.
Bouchon is the same thing.
Beauchamp is the same way.
Bouchon.
She sends an exorbitant amount of dresses, and it allows Jennifer to be able to bless people with more than one in a scene. But then, there are other scenes where you're going to maybe get nothing. And
Yeah,
you just
it's
have
okay.
to, it
It's
just
not a big deal. And
balances
if you
out.
go back and like anything else, if you repeatedly go, it all evens out, right? Like you would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now I want to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very big day for Celebrity Catwalk. We're really, building up to this mentally, physically,
Yes.
fashionably,
Physically.
yes. Do you see any problem? Do you anticipate any problems with tomorrow from your point of view?
I always want to say no. I don't anticipate any problems, but I mean, we're just being honest. It's the first time Jennifer's doing a contest,
Has
so
to-
I think that
some
I think
glitches.
we need to be a little realistic and it's inevitable that there are going to be some hiccups, and we're going to have to
Exactly.
just all be ladylike, and we'll work through them and try to sort them out in a fair way to everyone. And then we strive to do better next time. But I think
It's a learning curve.
it's a learning curve.
It's the first
Absolutely.
time.
We've never done a contest here at Catwalk on,
But this
a
is not just a
competitive
contest. This is like a major
A
competition.
major competition.
And many of these, and I've said this before, if you've been watching my podcast, many of these ladies have never experienced the pageant competition situation. So it should be very interesting how it plays, how it all plays out.
Yes,
I mean,
I agree.
I heard a lot of discussion about the description of the dresses. I mean, what's up with that? You
Yes,
have to describe your dog, and you have to describe your ensemble, your dress.
so
A
Jennifer has
lot of stuff.
given us the assignment, as she would say, to write a little write up for the judges, and then write a separate little write up, shorter write up, that she will hold in her hand, and as we come out, she'll read a little bit. That way, the audience gets to know a little bit about the dog and the dog's personality. Because let's just say, you're sitting in the audience and you don't know who Paige is. The audience wants to know, what is Paige like? Who is Paige? What is she like? What is she up to? So, and then as for the designer portion, that was really just for the designer to um, write about the techniques, maybe the fabrics they use, if they use special fabrics or a special technique in the garment. So that way, the judges have
Take it into consideration that
absolutely
this is
right.
something like a little bit higher than the usual.
This is French silk. This is
Right.
Swarovski crystals. These are special lace. So one of the issues we've been just having with the write-ups is that this is the first time doing it, so no one's ever done the write-ups before. But like everything else, if we're just being honest, people want to say as much as they can say. They want to, get in as
But there's a
much
limit here.
information as possible. So this, I would say, not scandal, but the little
I heard it all.
the
I
little
heard it
hiccup we've been having with
I heard
some
it
of the
since
ladies.
9:30 this morning at breakfast. Okay,
Yes, you have.
it's been going on and on and on until about 20 minutes ago. The discussion rages.
And I've been dealing with it for about a month, if I'm really being honest. Was this? There's a debate. Is it a 12 font? Is it a 10 font? Is it 10 lines? Is it 10 sentences? Is it a word count? Are we printing the page vertical? Are we printing the page horizontal?
And what size is the paper?
At what size? Yeah, what size is the paper? Five lines legal.
Right,
Five lines
by 11?
standard.
Right.
But at the end of the day, everybody had to just, and it's an easy assignment. Jennifer may have used in some podcasts sentences, 5 sentences. 5 sentences to her and 5 lines are one and the same. She thinks a sentence is a sentence, and that's it.
I do too, by the way.
And
I
so
think they're synonymous, but
I think they're synonymous, and I don't want to over exaggerate the point. I would say 80 to 85% of the ladies have done it right, didn't have any questions, have 5 lines and 10 lines, but there is definitely a small chunk of ladies out there who are debating the
still at this hour,
yeah,
it's
who are debating, is it they want it to be sentences, because if it's sentences, you could put commas and semicolons, and you could make a sentence, instead of it being 1 line, you can make it 2 or 3 lines, which then makes your 10 sentences into 20 lines. So they're getting more information into the judges' hands. And so for that reason, we've kind of spoke to everyone. There are some people revising their what they're going to submit, because nobody wants to get up on the stage and have their write-off cut in the middle. So they are fixing it and correcting it, and we'll see how it goes in the going forward.
Right, and it's not going to take. They think it's going to affect their score in a way, and I personally don't think so, because there is a prejudging, and they are going to be looking at the garments. And
I agree with you.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous, and I really, that's my opinion. I mean, I've done this before. I think they're going to look at the garment. They're not going to be reading. Do you think they have time to read all this stuff?
Well, that's what I said to some of the ladies earlier today. I said, it's not practical for us to give, the judge 30 pieces of paper, and they're a page each, and we're giving these men or women, I don't know what they are, but let's just say they're female judges. We're giving these women a 30-page book report to read before they even see any dogs. Right. I mean, it's getting kind of silly, and I think it's defeating the purpose. The purpose of the write-up is not to overstate it. They're going to see the garment, the front, the back, all the embellishments. They are going to physically see it and hold it and have it in their hands.
They have to take it off the dog. We have to show it,
right,
then it comes off the dog, and then they look at it.
The write up was really just to because contestants aren't going to be able to speak to the judges, so the paper was to convey, like I said, special techniques and maybe ruffling or special materials that we use, so that way when the judge reads the few lines they can say, oh, this is,
Right.
you know,
This is certain type of
French
feather or
lace,
something.
this is, you know,
And not just interrupt
real ostrich feathers.
interrupt 1 second.
Yeah.
Someone like me, I'm not a dog designer. I don't know how to source these materials. So this at least will give an accurate description of the specialty items associated. But other than that, you think there's any other issues for tomorrow that we're gonna hear about, see about?
I think we may have a little bit of issues as far as what goes on. You know, it's going to be Westminster style, and everyone is going to be in the room together, and there'll be people coming because they don't want to stay. They'll just do their garment and leave. There'll be other ladies who will want to stay.
Yeah.
They will have to be, you know, mindful that there's judging going on, and they will have to be quiet. You know, you can't have conversations
No.
in there. You know, it's really just to watch and see what's going on and observe. So I hope that all of the ladies that do stay observe and you know, just
They want to
keep it.
go and they want to look and they want to see. They're going to be in shock when it's a whole idea that they're going to go and they're going to stay because everybody's looking to see what somebody else is doing.
Of
That's
course,
going to
yeah,
be the number one reason for staying.
yeah.
Everybody's going to be eyeing each other's gowns up and down. It's going to be very interesting. And I have to tell you, the stress builds. People get nervous, and sometimes
I think it wouldn't be. I
something
think
something
it's not.
blows up, a little firecracker erupts.
I think it's not normal if you're not a little nervous. I think
Of
it's a
course.
competition. There's going to be titles.
I
There's
used
going to
to
be
be
money
I used
in
to be
stake.
so nervous when I took my other dog Zizi. Oh my god, I was a nervous wreck. I
I
got
think the
over it.
butterfly feeling though is like the good. It's the reason that we all like want to do it, because when you're in the moment, it's kind of really exciting and it's an adrenaline rush that you're doing this, you know, fun, exciting thing. So hopefully, our first competition is going to be great. I'm sure, I have no doubt that all of the ladies are going to bring it.
Oh my god,
Um,
on many levels, and
yeah,
we hopefully.
I'm really excited about that. Honestly, I'm really excited to see what
I want to see what.
amazing outfits they're all gonna come bring out, and all the different things that the designers came up with that maybe they have never done before. So I'm interested
Inspiration.
about
I
that.
want to see what I mean, the theme is Moulin Rouge, but there are a lot of different areas that can be. It's not just basic Moulin Rouge. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be shown and talked about and displayed, and we're going to see it all. And there's going to be a stroller competition and different. And you're hosting a showgirl, ultimate showgirl competition,
Yes.
which, by the way, we're going to be in.
Yes, I'm happy I'm not judging it.
Please.
I'm thrilled that I'm thrilled to say I'm sponsoring it, but I'm not judging it.
That's
Too
the right
many of
call.
my friends are in it, so I am
That's the
going
right
to
call.
get a judge to sponsor to judge that for me.
But so it's going to be very exciting, and we're going to try to bring you all the winners on Sunday night if they all are amenable to it. And what else can I say?
That's
Anything else?
Your lines aren't going to decide who wins. It's going to be that garment. At the end of the day, it's going to be the garment. The garment is going to speak for itself.
And, right, the garment and the presentation, how it's presented, or well, the garment really. You're right. I should.
Well, I'm sure that the dog is going to play a part. I mean, I'm sure they're going to look at the dog. They're going to look at the garment.
Well, they want to see how comfortable the dog is.
Exactly.
That's the most
I mean, if the
important
dog can't move and it looks really
right,
uncomfortable, and it doesn't look natural, I'm sure that's not going to be great. But I think all the designers we have are pros, and they're really good.
I know.
And I
can't
think
wait.
they're going to do a great job.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
And you are a great den mother. You're the best one we've had so far.
That's such high
No,
praise. Thank
no,
you.
it's true. You really know what you're doing.
Well,
and
coming from an OG
I'm an
who's been around,
with no
she's
den mother, with
seen
no
it all and done it all.
because if we have
That
to,
is a big compliment.
because if
So
we
thank you.
Thank you. And if we have to wait for Jennifer Bartok to solve every problem, hell, we'll be there forever. Because she's all over the place, which is fine. We love her, but she needs help, and that's what everybody needs help.
Absolutely.
Okay, Miss Jaimie,
Okay,
thank you so much for joining
Thank
me.
you for having me.
Okay, let's do this.